Delighted to say welcome back here to McLean's TV and joined by a new face on the block, but a man who is a master of so many trades, former head of the Press Association, Deric Henderson, and now a media consultant, and also a man who recognises himself as a bit of an expert in golf, and that's why you're here. And we're here to talk about, well, we'll have to start one way, Rory McIlroy. What a player. Like, unbelievable there.
Well, he's just a phenomenon, and he's just come good. He's fallen in love with golf again. As you know, he broke up with his girlfriend a few months ago, and he seemed to be all over the place. He's got issues with his former management company, and hopefully they'll be resolved on the steps of the High Court in Dublin next January. Hopefully it won't go the full distance. I think it will be settled, and that'll be Rory back to normal again, if you can call it normal. I mean, his life has just now moved into a completely new stratosphere. He is the man in golf. He is the one they all want to see. And his next big target in the aftermath of the Ryder Cup will no doubt be the Masters at Augusta next April. McIlroy has his sights firmly set on that. He has something to prove. This is the course where he collapsed in England 2 years ago, and it nearly destroyed him, and it would have destroyed many other golfers, any other golfer. But McIlroy has come back unbelievably well, and he wants to go to Augusta next April to prove a point that this will be the fourth in the career Grand Slam. He'll have won all the titles, and I have no doubt he may not win it in April, but rest assured he'll win it some year.
Deric, you know, sometimes you're involved in journalism, you look at it and you try to get the words, but do the people over here realise just how good he is? Like, you know, he's the number one. His last victory, he took on the likes of Phil Mickelson head to head and beat him in the shootout after coming from behind. What a performance.
Well, this is a great golfing country, and although it's probably the last of the amateur outposts, people who play golf in Northern Ireland and the Republic know their stuff inside out, and they just know how good McIlroy is. And not just here. I mean, I've been in Portrush. I've watched the Americans coming in busloads to play the course where McIlroy shot the record-breaking 61 when he was only aged 16 years of age. His card is in the foyer and the display cabinet of Royal Portrush, and before those Americans leave, every one of them will use their smartphone to take a photograph of that card, so they can take that home, and when everything else they have, like the shirts, the jumpers, you name it, and you know, so they know just how good he is. They go to his club in Hollywood. They play Hollywood because McIlroy has his home course. They have to play the course. No American trip to Ireland now is complete without playing golf at Hollywood.
Are we doing enough? You know, when you look at the bigger scheme of things, we criticise very easily our politicians, etc. over here, but are we doing enough? You know, because this really is, you know, I know it's a cliche, but like, it is the home of golf. You know, when you take the likes of McDowell in there, Clark in there, and then if you take the lower level of lads, even, you know, well, not even the lower levels, you know, the Shane Lowrys, the Harringtons, you know, the Hoeys, the Maybins, you know, we've got some talent.
It's for the size of this place, it's just unbelievable, and you know, the great thing about it, McIlroy is really only starting. You know, we have another 10 years of Rory McIlroy, and that's what excites everybody. We have more time with Graham McDowell. Probably Clark is coming to the end of his career. Harrington has probably peaked. Hoey, I think, still to do the business. There's more wins in Hoey. Young Gareth Maybin from Ballyclare, great player, hasn't fulfilled his potential. But everything goes back to McIlroy, and this is what excites people so much. That here's a young lad. He's only 25. He's got at least another 10 years to go. He's going to win major after major after major. Will he overtake Jack Nicklaus? Who knows? He's got 4 under his belt, and he's already targeting a 5th. So he's got 10 years ahead. You know, can he do 2 majors a year? Can he even do 1 major a year? I think he can. So that's why it's so exciting. And you know, it lifts everybody. This place doesn't have an awful lot going for it, but McIlroy can bring so much joy and so much pleasure, not just to golfers, but to people generally. It lifts them, it lifts the place, and I just think it's just unbelievable. He's a one-man billboard for this place. You know, he's probably, next to Bono, he's probably the most recognised face in the world. I mean, Bono would probably be identified in New York and Manhattan But Rory McIlroy, he goes down a side street in Tokyo and they'll know who he is, because golf is just massive in Asia. And that's where McIlroy too will spend a lot of his time, because that's where the big money is, and that's where he's going to.
I thoroughly agree. I think a lot of people listen, no matter if they were golf fans or not, stayed up late to watch him, and I thoroughly agree with that. Now, I also watched, in the PGA, a struggling Tiger Woods, which moves us on nicely now to the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And I suppose when you look at it, for the first time in a long time, Europe go into this almost as surefire favourites and odds on to win the Ryder Cup.
Yes, they do, because Tom Watson will have great difficulty finding a full squad, a full strength squad. It's sad to see Tiger Woods at the moment, but Adrian, that's what happens to golfers. At some stage in their life they reach a certain level, and that's it. They peak at a certain level, and their decline, their inexorable decline, sometimes is very, very painful to watch. And Tiger Woods, I'm afraid, probably is at that stage of his life now. He's in his, late 30s, early 40s. He's come to the time of his life where he says, right, I can't go on, I can't keep going on, I can't keep winning every time. There's such a level of expectation. I still think it's there. People want to see Tiger Woods playing golf, especially the TV companies. But remember, with McIlroy now, the ratings, the CBS ratings in America in the aftermath of the PGA at Valhalla went up amazing 37%. McIlroy is gold dust. And and I would say too, he would empathise with a lot of us when we see Tiger Woods going the way he is, and it's rather sad. But that's what happens in golf. You have your good times, but I'm afraid the decline is always slow, it's inexorable, it's painful to watch, but it happens. The Ryder Cup, Europe are clear favourites, there is no doubt about that, and a lot will depend on McIlroy. The Americans will definitely target him to try and shoot him down, either in the foursomes or the singles on the Sunday. I think they're hot favourites, there's no doubt about that. But having said that, Americans can call on some great players, Phil Mickelson being one of them. They're going to be without a lot of key guys, Dustin Johnson, Jason Duffner, Matt Kuchar, all those guys who are injured at the moment can't be playing at Gleneagles, and it's a bit sad in many ways. But remember, Europe went to Medina 2 years ago, and they came from nowhere. They came from dead to beat the Americans on the final day. It was a sensational win, probably the best Ryder Cup match of all time. Now, Tom Watson isn't coming to Gleneagles in Scotland, where he's worshipped. They love him in Scotland. He isn't going to come here to roll over to the Europeans. You can bet your bottom dollar that they will put up a big fight. Yes, Europe are favourites, but you can rest assured the Americans will put it up to them.
Isn't it strange, Deric? You're a golfer, I'm a golfer. Well, sorry, we dress up in golf gear and lose a lot of balls no matter where we play. Yeah. But these fellas like Rory McIlroy is earning millions, his private jets. Mickelson the same, and yet the Ryder Cup, where they play for nothing apart from a shirt, seems to be the thing that has caught on with golf, and it encompasses everyone. Everybody gets caught up on it. Why is that? Because they're not getting any money.
Well, I've been to a number of Ryder Cups. The K Club and Celtic Manor, and watching these guys up close. Yes, they make millions 51 weeks of the year. They make unimaginable amounts of money. But for 1 week, every 2 years, they're happy to play for free. And because this is what the Ryder Cup means, it just means so much to these guys. It's everything. It's about bragging rights. It's about, if Europe win this at Gleneagles, it means Europe has the best region for golf. If the Americans reclaim it, and they will be determined to do that, the balance of power shifts back to America. I think European golf at the moment has never been stronger. There are so many great players, not just Rory McIlroy, Thomas Bjorn, all those, Justin Rose, Lee Westwood's coming back, Ian Poulter. He loves the Ryder Cup. He just loves the Ryder Cup, and it just means so much to them. It just means everything to them, and it's all about bragging rights. Winning the Ryder Cup is one of the great achievements in golf.
And you would fancy them to win that now? Obviously, you're going to tip them as well too. As
At this stage, I have to tip the Europeans. There's no doubt about that. They're in a much stronger position than the Americans. But having said that, with this caveat, Logie, you know, the Americans are down. There's no doubt about that. But they're certainly not out.
I want to say one wee thing too. Whenever you look at the position that McIlroy has done, the boost, and I'm not getting into the politics about decisions, but the boost to declare for Ireland to play in the Olympics then for the likes of him and McDowell, it's incredible. You know, Ireland could have actually a gold medal at the Olympics in golf, which would be an amazing thing.
Well, I mean, I think McIlroy, on reflection, took the right decision. Remember, Rory McIlroy, Graham McDowell, Padraig Harrington, Darren Clark, Michael Hoy, Gareth Maben, those guys wouldn't be where they are at the moment had it not been for the Golfing Union of Ireland. This is the amateur ruling body for golf in this country. Those young lads have been nurtured, coached, they've been taken to places they wouldn't have imagined as part of their whole development process. It's what the Golfing Union of Ireland do best. It's probably one of the most unsung sporting organisations in this country. They do amazing work, especially at underage level. They just do so much great work. And I think it would have been sad if Rory had declared for UK. Yes, he plays under the Northern Ireland flag, as does Graham play under the Northern Ireland flag, as does Darren Clark play under the Northern Ireland flag. But I think in this case, in the Olympics in Rio in a couple of years' time, I think Rory McIlroy made the right decision. It would have gone down very badly, not just in Dublin, but in Belfast as well. Even people like myself, you know, who looked to the Golfing Union of Ireland so many times. It would have been I think it would have been an act of betrayal that had he not played for Ireland. And you know, that issue now has been put to bed. People shouldn't use it to politicise golf, because golf, remember, is an all-Ireland sport. There are no borders in golf. You know, you've got Ulster, Leinster, Connacht, Munster. That's it. Politics do not enter the realm of golf, and long may that continue.
There's no borders and you're out playing too, because whenever I'm out playing, I lose that many balls.
You're out of bounds, that's it.
Deric, I have to say, that's your debut, and I would say you'll be back with us in McLean's.
That's great, thanks very much. Okay.